Tokusatsu in America feels like an anomaly, but thanks to the internet being able to partake relatively close to new episode releases of Ultraman, Super Sentai, and Rider, it's opened up the door to many new fans worldwide. Back when I first got into the genre, physical media was still a big deal and one of the only ways that we really could watch the shows, and I had quite a collection amassed, and I really wanted to add my favorite movies and episodes of Toku to this growing library. Now initially I was stupid and I bought releases straight from Japan trying to show my support for the shows, but these don't even have subtitles on them. I was just happy to have them. But if you've ever perused the selection on places like Amazon JP or other retail sites, you'll know that these can cost you an arm and a leg. And I think for just one of those, it was like $100. Yeah. So if you were to tell me in 5 to 10 years that we would be getting actual statewide releases on Blu-ray and done right, I would have never believed you. But I mean, here we are with Mill Creek Entertainment. They both gained the rights for distribution of the Suburaya Ultraman series, starting with the first two entries, Ultra Q and Ultraman, and they've released two wonderful sets that actually are well worth the money. I'll be taking the next few minutes to highlight the presentation, video, audio, and other aspects of this release to showcase why these are not only a must-have for Tokusatsu fans, but a must-own for anybody who likes a good classic show. Now this video will contain reviews for both the Ultra Q and Ultraman releases that were sent to me for review, and at the time of this review I only have access to these steelbook versions. Now, I'm a stickler for presentation. I mean, it's gotta both look good on the shelf, it's gotta look good in your hands, and finally it has to look good on the screen. So when it comes to these releases, Mill Creek are showing us that they believe in this distribution deal and they're already planning for more releases. I mean, this little catalog card here shows us a brief outline for the future of releases. I mean, we're already getting Ultra 7 next month, and what's really cool about this is that they're also giving us newer seasons too, like Ultraman Orb and Ultraman Geed. Pretty cool. But with Ultra Q, we have this beautiful cover that's a nod to the title card of the show with its famous ink swirl reveal. Now it's also accompanied by a large roster of its monsters. On the Ultraman season, we have yet another beautiful cover, which both look much better in person, and even though video looks good, it doesn't do it perfect justice. Now the one problem I had with this release was the fact that the front title reads Ultraman, Ultraman. On later series releases, this season subtitle will fall under the Ultraman title, allowing this to make more sense, but as it is right now, it just looks funny. The backs are wonderfully laid out with the series information as well as the specs on the release. Something else I found out, not sure if this is true with all or most steelbook releases, is that there was this thin plastic layer to protect the slipcovers. I was worried initially that my sets were already damaged, but it was good to know that that was not the case. And it easily just peeled right off. The spines of these together are also more perfect than I could have ever hoped for. And looking at other previous releases of Tokusatsu in America from other groups, this one easily takes the cake. Both of these releases include more artwork on the actual steelbook back, as well as a subtle logo in the parting section on the side. These little touches, they go a long way, and they really show the heart that was put into this release. Suburaya himself would be proud of these little details. Each release in this first wave include a booklet about the show and an episode guide. Both include a brief historical write-up by Keith Aiken that sheds some great light on the productions. Interested parties who want to learn more should find themselves a copy of Eiji Suburaya, Master of Monsters by August Ragone for further reading about those series. The booklet itself is one of the more well-constructed pieces of the set. It's not your simple staple booklet that's found in most TV seasons released here. It's got layout, purpose, and it feels great too. The discs, however, are another story. With this being a steelbook set, I understood fully going into it that the discs were probably going to be overlaid to keep the size of the package down, and thankfully, because they're Blu-rays, my fear of scratches was non-existent. Opening the set to see them all on top of one another was a tad letdown. The Ultra Q set, only consisting of 4 discs, doesn't feel nearly as cramped as the Ultraman set with 6, and prying the final disc in the stack loose is one of the more, I would say, dangerous parts I found, because it doesn't come out too easily at first. The discs, however, also sport different monsters on each of them. The background inside the sets were a very nice, unexpected touch too. However, the Ultraman one, when you take all the discs out, just looks like Ultraman has boobs. Yeah. So those are the sets. They're gorgeous, they feel great, and look even better in person than the images we've seen before this release. The only big problem is that disc layout, but it's just a Steelbook exclusive because there's been a few photos and videos available to me at this time that show the other standard release of that set, and the Blu-ray case does have a better disc layout, as well as new cover art on those. Another neat thing about this set are the spines that when lined up it creates this mural, and you can even see Ultra 7, the next hero's arm, in the second series spine. Granted, the Steelbooks are beautiful. I would be rather torn between these two sets if I really had to choose. The last two stops on this presentation tour are the disc playback and the digital redemption through Spree, Mill Creek's digital service for movies and television. Throwing both discs in and starting them is another slight letdown as the menu is very static. Not a whole lot going on, and I will agree with many who enjoy these types as this kind of menu is preferred to one that loops every 20 seconds or so. But seeing some of the wonderfully made menus for such titles like Game of Thrones and other TV shows which include everything right there, and then it prompts you to insert that particular disc to access those episodes or features without ever leaving the menu, makes you wonder how hard it could have been to have something similar, even if it was just simplified. Through Movie Spree, you can access the episodes on TV, app, and even a website, but trying to play Ultra Q and episodes from Ultraman only gave me an option for 720 on the site, but I don't foresee myself watching too much outside of my house. However, on my phone app, it does show a 1080p as well as 1080p on my TV as an option. No idea why. But in the day of 1 million subscription services, this would have been nice to have access on other platforms outside of having to download Movie Spree. The fact that these are even on Blu-ray is already a huge win over other previously released media for Toku. The 1080p clarity of the film from Ultra Q looks great on this set, and I might go so far as to say there might be a little controversy with the topic of the Ultra Q release. Now, I have no knowledge of the work that went into the restoration of this title, but I did previously acquire a set that was released in Japan, and when comparing the two side by side, they both look wonderful, and the film grain and elements are all intact. However, you may notice that the Japanese one was released as a special edition where it was colorized. During the 45th anniversary, the Total Natural Color Ultra Q box was released that added color to the original black and white production. Now, some might prefer this or even argue that it's the better version, but the black and white was how the show was originally intended, and not until Ultraman was the show ever in color at the time. So if you ask me, I would go with the real one versus the special version. It's kind of like Star Wars in that sense. Another topic that's been raised mostly by this one guy on Twitter who won't stop complaining about it is that the set does not include the English dubbing of the show. Now, there's possibly a few reasons. One, they don't have the rights to it. Just like Suburia held onto the rights for so long, United Artists TV may also be reserving these rights. Two, to have the entire Japanese original versions and the dubs side by side might be impossible. I mean, at times with early English dubs, the source would be modified or edited to fit better. It'd be a huge workload to sync all these performances up. And third, who really needs it? These sets are wonderful and they're a reflection of the Japanese show. Having one season here and there with dubs would look weird or silly, and then more people would complain that these other seasons don't have English dubs, as if Mill Creek is the one that is making these dubs for this and that they just didn't decide to put these on these ones. You see where I'm going? But the last point I'll bring up with the Ultraman set is that the video at times does not look particularly crisp or as clean as Ultra Q. There's a few insert shots that look amazing, but a lot of the opening looks soft or fuzzy, or overall there's a lot of on-screen particles and just kind of movement that looks a little bit lower quality. Perhaps this is how it originally looked too. That's just an observation, but I hope that the next older entries look cleaner, whether that be on Mill Creek's end or whether that be just the actual original footage too. But as it stands, this is the best looking version of the original series I've personally ever seen. These are old series that were mastered for home television sets, so don't expect a sweeping surround sound experience from 1966. These are HD DTS Master 2.0, which still sound amazing, but again, there's no English dubs. There's also no special features on either set that I have seen going through a few of the discs. There are a lot of historians and people of notable credentials that could have been pulled together to have a sort of retrospect or a history like that found in the booklet. Now, Mill Creek, if you guys need someone to make a few things for some upcoming releases, I'd love to hop on, pull these people together, put something on the next set of discs, right? This is a very worthwhile set for your time and your money. I've already pre-ordered the regular set on Amazon, and I think I'm going to keep that so that I can have copies of both and might do a giveaway whichever one I don't like as much as the other. So we'll see what I feel like once I get those in. These are going to continue to be beautiful sets, and I personally can't wait to collect more. But what do you think? Does this help set you on one side of the fence in terms of buying or not? Do you have yours already too and maybe notice something that I missed? Let me know down below. But like I said, these really are the best versions of both of these series I've ever found. And I came from watching the original Mill Creek DVD sets, that I got at Walmart like 10 years ago. So to see them put out the best version of this show really proves that they care about Ultraman here in the West. And with this continued success, we're going to get more seasons, more movies, and maybe even original productions produced here in America. I mean, Mill Creek could even turn around with these impressive numbers to their advantage and get more tokusatsu released here in America. It's all possible. So thank you for checking out my review, and thank you, Mill Creek, for sending me these 2 awesome seasons for review. So thank you everyone for your continued support and feedback on everything we do here on the channel. I'll see you guys next time with maybe another review on Ultra 7 or even Geed. Till then. Shout out to all the Patreons that are helping support me in the channel, especially a Frozen Traveler, Timothy Cardenas, Randy, Soundboard, Big Dog Steve, Damien Busker, Kiara Katsune, Can of Water RX, and Ben Bartholomew. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.